I'm Michael Jai White, better known as Black Dynamite, better known as Spawn. In some places, people call me Marcus, but you gotta, kind of know that crowd. But anyway, you're watching Supanova TV, and I hope I said that right.
The most amazing steampunk-inspired jewelry and accessories and so many different things here. Tell me where you're from.
Sunshine Coast.
Sunshine
Yes.
Coast. And what's the name of your business?
Time and Tide Artwear.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. What inspired you to create steampunk?
It's been an evolution, really. Yeah. We like also that we repurpose as well. Everything is made from old that's been loved in the past and reborn and loved again. So, yeah.
And what keeps you coming back to Supanova?
We love Supanova. Yeah, it's endless entertainment. Yeah, it is amazing.
What is it about steampunk that draws people in, do you think? There's so many different characters that have been twisted into a steampunk version over and over and over again. What is it about steampunk that makes that happen?
I think it's a lot of fun, and it gives people an opportunity to do something different, to dress up, and it's not limited to any age. I mean, anybody can do it, and we're finding like people of our vintage are really enjoying it because, it's kind of appropriate. As far as dressing up, it can be any size, any shape, and a lot of these people are very creative and they make their own outfits, and we're meeting lots of women that sew their own dresses and come up with their own corsets and accessorize. So we're actually topping up the accessorizing side, so we're actually making things that other people might find it difficult to make and things that we can source and look after that market.
So if someone wanted to get a hand on some of your amazing steampunk-inspired accessories here outside of Supanova, where can we find you?
Well, as I said, we're on the Sunshine Coast. We have a link to our Facebook, and from there we have a small Etsy shop, and
We are here with Michael Jai White. You are, for a start, Black Dynamite.
Yes, I am.
But on top of that, you were also Spawn. Mm-hmm. Now, this is one of those ones that like, in the late 90s? It was 97, I think?
Yeah, 97.
Yeah. You were kind of one of the ones who was leading the charge for superhero movies.
Lucky enough to have that distinction.
Yeah. Like, I remember watching that film, and, Spawn was huge at the time. Like, the comic was everywhere. And then the movie happened, and it was like, finally, we're getting to see superheroes on the big screen handled well. Yeah,
when a dark superhero, and I mean, not just
so to speak.
But it was a dark superhero and I think the dark is resonating very very well in the superhero genre.
How was it for you? In terms of was there a lot of makeup? Because I remember the suit was.
No, there was no makeup. That was just me.
That was
no. There's a hell of a lot of makeup in that thing, man. Actually when I'm fully made up, the only part of my real body that's exposed are my eyelashes. Oh. Because there's a sclera, what they call it, a big contact lens over my entire eye.
Oh,
well, not the eye, just the white part and everything. It's huge. So yeah, it was a pretty daunting kind of makeup situation.
And had you ever done anything in makeup like that big before?
God, no.
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 Have you done anything like that since?
Never will.
No, yes. Not exactly a fun experience?
Well, yeah, that was something else. I didn't have to act because I was in hell.
Right. Well, but you've also gone on and done so many other things in the pop culture sphere. Like one of my personal favorites, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, look.
I finally got a chance to do Mortal Kombat. I was supposed to do the last 2 movies.
Oh, really?
But other projects came up, like Tyson's Story, Mike Tyson's Story, and Spawn. That they both came up at the time that they were shooting the first Mortal Kombat, which I was already cast.
Oh, so you were going to be in Jax in that one?
Yeah, I was going to be Jax both times. In the second one, I was already cast in that, but then this Spawn thing came along and knocked me out of that box.
And I'll be completely honest, you went with the better one on that one.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I did.
That's one of those ones. But then you got to do it later, and for Kevin Tancharoen.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Good, let's go with that.
Tancharoen, who was I think he's a brilliant director, and I can't wait till he starts directing some bigger projects. Cause he's going to be one of those people that's just going to go in the stratosphere.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember seeing photos of you doing Black Dynamite, and at the time I went, hang on, it didn't occur to me that it had come out in 2009 because it had that, you know, that pure 70s blaxploitation vibe and everything. Was it kind of fun to play in that old school kind of space?
Absolutely. I wanted to evoke everything that those who knew that blaxploitation era, I wanted to evoke that same feeling that you had when you first saw those, and have that for a younger audience as well. Very much like the Duffer Brothers have done with Stranger Things. I always thought it's, you know, to be a purist, to actually have every sight, sound, touch, everything as it was in the original. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I did that with Black Dynamite. I'm about to do it on another movie with the same, you know, kind of like parody type of thing. But I'm doing it with a movie called Outlaw Johnny Black, which I'm planning on shooting this summer.
That sounds awesome. Also, it's interesting seeing, like, now with things like Black Panther and also Black Lightning, that the black superhero is really kind of moving up into the stratosphere. Does that excite you as an actor, as a martial artist?
Absolutely. I mean, I hope there's more opportunities for that. And it's finally showing that the fallacy of there was a belief that black movies didn't sell well overseas. Well, what is not being said is that action always sells overseas, and especially good action, whether you're black, white, or anything. This is a reason why we know who Jet Li and Jackie Chan are, is because they do action. We don't know very many of the other Chinese, you know, drama actors or comedians very much, because that doesn't tend to sell overseas. Everybody has their own, you know, favorite dramatic actors and what have you. But when you blow up stuff and you kick people in the head, these things translate.
So, I mean, how many people know anyone else from Thailand other than Tony Jaa?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So and so that's the thing that people fail to recognize. And so I really applaud Marvel for having the courage to do something like that, because there were few movies that people looked to. Anytime you did try to do a black movie with a, you know, over a certain budget, they look at The Color Purple and they look at Amistad, and then looking at that Steven Spielberg was, you know, connected with that, and with Red Tails there was George Lucas connected with that. But you know, but they forget that that's, you know, if you did a historical white movie, the same result could you know, happen. But when you're doing something as rich in culture and action as Black Panther, well, it translates. But you know, but usually that was the thing that kept studios away from doing anything in the action realm with, you know, connected with, you know, people of color, because they say, Amistad didn't do well, or whatever, you know. So I'm glad that should be put to rest now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more action coming out of you.
Well, thanks. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more.